if by any chance you're not able to do it today, he will be available on Thursday morning in CHTC, but we have a fairly big contingent joining us then. So if those of you who are here can finish it today, that will make his life a little easier. From the video, guys, please hold the mics up. They're finding it difficult to record you. And I don't know if anybody has any other feedback about changes in the program. We can still try to tweak it a little bit. Small request, please stick to the time allotted because we would really like to give everybody a chance to say what they have to say. Kasturi has an announcement.
No, not really an announcement. I just wanted to, I met you guys after 50 years and I just thought I'll bring something from where I live and so that you can take it back with you and remember that we had this little gathering together and that we had such a lovely time, bonding with each other and really getting to know each other all over again. So on that table, I've just put that out. Whatever you fancy, you can take it. They're mostly Aboriginal, related things, which I thought reflected truly Australia rather than all the other people, the boat people, including us who've gone there. So please make yourself available of whatever you fancy out there.
Raju's saying I need to say something. I'm saying Raju needs to say something.
That sounds
I
like
call for a vote. All in favor of Raju. All right, Raju.
Meena, I just wanted to share something. Could you just share what you told me earlier?
Well, basically, the rest of us talked about it yesterday before you came in. We want to hear about things that are important to people. Some people have felt that this whole meeting so far has been very. Oh my gosh! I thought I was loud enough. What the heck? I can always be louder, right? Am I louder now? There you go. Okay, I get it. So, one of the comments that we've been hearing kind of on the underground is that we are getting very heavy on devotional stuff. Not that anybody is opposed to devotion, but let's make an effort also to keep it light, keep an eye on the intensity of things. We want to also have some fun and laughter while we are together. So, having said that, yesterday we talked briefly about, okay, I'll take instructions. Yesterday we talked briefly about how maybe all of us would say something for a few minutes about what's important to us. We all know what people, well, for the most part, we know what people have been doing with their lives professionally. We know a little bit about people's families. What would be good to know is what else makes you tick. What is it that excites you? What do you really enjoy? What makes you laugh? And what keeps you laughing? What keeps you coming? What kept us all in a place where we chose to come back now. Certainly as a class, we were not the most integrated in our college years. And that was the standing joke of the community. But here we are. We are integrated, so. So maybe it came to us a little later, but maybe better. Maybe we've all come to this as grown-ups rather than the children we were when we first came here. So the hope is that we can all share the lighter side of our lives and what makes us happy. I can just randomly call on people to start this, unless somebody wants to go first. I think I saw Gulu raise her hand. Who else saw Gulu raise her hand? There you go. See, Gulu, you want to go first? No? All right. Kasturi. I can't believe this. All right, Raju, let's get you rolling here. Come on. Raju, you're still Raju.
I'm supposed to lead. So, Biak, what about Biak? why don't you give us a few PJs and Biak was known for his jokes, so you can start with a joke. No, come, Biak, come. No, I'm R, Raju. Abel, where's Abel? Abel, come. Come, Abel, why don't you take it? Well done, Abel. Take your time.
Okay. Meena, okay. Right. Okay. Anyway, as I stand here, I really want to thank God and praise God for what He has done in my life. It's I cannot imagine the way He has changed my life in every way, and I'll just share a bit about how He has led me. Now, since you gave some broad ideas, do you want us to start with something before our marriage or before we came to Vellore, and then some transformations in our life? I thought I'll put it along that outline. Before our
Transformation. Some of us who haven't been transformed yet, we get kind of guilty about it. So tell us what you enjoy most.
Okay, fine. Anyway, Philip Bhaktara and I were classmates from school, and we continued into medical college, and we studied together. And one of the things that we had was we always took turns in becoming first, second, and third, competing with each other, and that also had its problems because our leaders thought that we had brains that had better than others, and so we had a lot of idle time to imagine things and create problems. And so we had problems because we were first, second, and third also. But I said we took turns. Okay. So anyway, we came to Vellore together, and 4 of us from our church were called. And in terms of ranking, I was the last, but God chose 3 of us together again, and we went together. Strangely, after we finished studies, I think Bhaktaraj beat us to the post-graduation first, Philip second, and my time got delayed unduly long. I don't know why. And Bhaktaraj went, I think, in the first year or 2. And if I am not mistaken, CMC made the rule that you can come to post-graduation after 2 years, only after Bhaktaraj went in very early. 3 years, huh? Okay. Anyways, somewhere along the line, we went very fast into that process. During CMC, one of the things that, when I say transformation, I'm talking about even in the work level. One of the things that I distinctly carried out from men's hostel was the experience of room fixing. Okay, Bonnie and I were roommates, and our room was fixed, but nothing like the way the rooms are fixed about the 3rd or 4th year in our time, when everybody in the first year removed all their things and left their rooms empty. Okay, and the seniors were not at all happy with it, and they put in muck inside the room. Next few weeks they had to clean the room, and fresheners and things like that were needed to keep the room back into normal. And that made us as a class to take a very firm decision. And when we had the next general body meeting, if you remember, we made an amendment to the constitution of the Men's Hostel Association to allow freshmen to vote after attending the first general body meeting. And within the second general body meeting, when the room fixing took place, we were able to pass a resolution that Men's Hostel will ban room fixing forever. And it created a lot of problems. I mean, the seniors didn't like it. I mean, who was thrashed? One of the students were thrashed. I mean, I think Captain Varghese was way in the front in that setting. And Jamon, okay. And you know, and the way we, again, the student association came to the rescue. If you remember, one of the students was to be punished, and the student association said, or men's hostel association, he said, we will give the punishment, and we did not give the principal the privilege to punish, and we did give a punishment which the principal accepted, and with that, room fixing was fixed forever. Okay. Now, taking that experience back, I mean, towards the end of my career, I mean, I had to face a problem in my work setting. You know, in our state, we have this problem of chief minister, when they change the next chief minister will change the previous chief minister's program. And we had a program, with a very nice program where we are dealing with women's self-help groups, and we are getting a lot of money from the government. The next chief minister came and said, no more doing that. And it was difficult for us. Not that we needed the money, but the relationship with the government was very good, because for the first time we entered into what we call a bilateral agreement with the government. We will do this, government will do this. And suddenly this new chief minister comes and says, forget it. So applying this, what I learned from men's hostel, I went to the finance secretary and I said, sir, you cannot change a bilateral agreement unilaterally. And I gave him the agreement and I said, you have to honor your agreement. And I was very happy that he was able to make a change. And he said, I mean, they did it in their own way. He gave us all the money back. He said, whatever we have committed, we will do it. But we are calling that chief minister's program phase 1, and our chief minister program will be called phase 2, and we will not enter into a bilateral agreement. We'll give you all the conditions. If you accept, you sign and say we will accept, and then we'll continue. We said it's all right. But we got the money back. And I mean, this is what I learned from the men's hostel, especially that experience that helped me. After leaving CMC, I mean, it was the career choices. And I mean, people had told me, I mean, you don't choose in a hurry. I mean, as I said, Bhakta, pediatrics very quick, Philip, he became general physician very quickly, and they went on. And I was interested in surgery. And the first time I did a hydrocele on my own without my senior doctor, it ended up with a hematoma. I had, big questions about surgery. I mean, it's going to be my career. That was first year in Nepal. The second year, I goofed up with the circumcision. Yes. I mean,
bleeding like that. I couldn't. I mean,
I had to seek somebody else's help to finish with I said, okay, this is the end of my surgical career. Not career. Surgical as a... I mean, after having decided that I'm not going to do MS surgery, I mean, then God took me through a pathway of doing surgeries. I mean, I did surgeries, lot of surgeries, independently. I could do nephrectomy, doing the ureteral stone removal, independently. And finally, I mean, one of the things that things that I did was to do a 2-stage urethroplasty. And what I learned from that was, when I did it, one of the nurses commented, "You have done it so beautifully well." My pride went up, and the next week the whole thing sloughed up.
Say something positive after this. Take it positively.
Well, I mean, I just like to say one word about of the directors with which I worked, Dr. Pulimud, because I want to give respect to him as a director, because I mean he was one of the most fairest directors that I had, and I mean he took care of me well. And one of the things that happened in his time was the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi decided to visit Vellore. And the unwritten principle in Vellore is, if a Prime Minister comes to Vellore, he has to visit CMC. When they started looking at the program, he was coming into Vellore at 9 o'clock in the night. And what would he do in CMC at 9 o'clock in the night? So I think Dr. Pulimud's idea was that, his route was along Kavanur, and we are on his set. So he said, we have CMC also in Kavanur. You are coming along CMC, and 6 o'clock you are supposed to pass through Kavanur, and why don't you stop in one of our branch campuses? Then you can say that you visited CMC. And so Dr. Pulimud gave us that privilege of inviting Dr. Rajiv Gandhi to Rusa campus. It was not the invitation part of that I want to talk about. It was his greatness in allowing my wife and me to garland the Prime Minister, and for him to stay behind and just give the gifts to the Prime Minister. I want to say, I mean, that's why I want to respect Dr. Pulimud. And although some of us, have had, he does all the tests and, only then he makes a diagnosis. But there's a good side of the man with whom I worked, and I want to respect his. There are many more things that I can talk about. She said 2 minutes, and I have to stop here. You can always pick my brains later. Thank you.
One of the things that we did last night, when relatively few of us were in the room, was really take the time to meet the spouses. So now might be a good time. I'm looking at Abel's wife. Abel's wife. Yeah, you, come on.
How did you meet him?
Tell us how you met him and tell us what he didn't tell us about himself.
Give her the mic, under the mic.
I'll give it to you there? Okay.
Right enough for the story.